compass thee round and keep thee in on every side.
Then they're going to have you in the siege. They're going to compass you around, and they're going to keep you in on every side. This is what he's saying to Jerusalem. Now, this is around 30-some A.D. that he's saying that. And we read earlier in history, in 70 A.D., Titus came down, and he destroyed the temple, didn't he? Now, he said they're going to cast a trench around Jerusalem, and they're going to keep you in on every side. Go ahead and read on.
And shall lay thee even with the ground.
And they're going to lay you even with the ground. You know, just like I said to the prophet Daniel, like I had him to write, that they're going to destroy the city, and they're going to even lay it even with the ground. Go ahead and read on.
And thy children within thee.
And not only the city, he said, but even thy children within thee. Go ahead and read on.
And they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation.
Now, let's go over to the 21st chapter of Luke, and this time we'll begin reading at verse 20, because he said something else here that was going to happen to Jerusalem, and that would happen to the people of Jerusalem. Let's start reading at Luke chapter 21 and begin at verse 20. 21 and 20. We are dealing with the real Israelites here, people. These are things that the Bible said would happen to the real Israelites. Now, if you have a people out there that's claiming to be Israel and these things did not happen to them, then they are not the real Israelites. Because we have seen time and time again, whatever the Lord pronounced, that is exactly what came to pass. Then he said what's going to happen to the people. They was going to be led into captivity. He would destroy the city and the sanctuary. Didn't he do it to the 10 tribes when they stopped obeying him? Yep. Then did he turn around and do it to Judah when they stopped obeying him? And when the Lord pronounced it by the mouth of Moses, it was for every generation. It wasn't just for a generation, but it was for every generation. Let's start reading here now at Luke chapter 21 and began reading at verse 20. Go ahead and read, brother.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Now he told you in the 19th chapter that they was going to dig a trench around it, didn't it? And keep it in on every side, it said, didn't it? Now he's telling you, when you see Jerusalem surrounded with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. It had to come to pass because the Lord already had it written in the 9th chapter of Daniel, didn't he? That they would destroy the city and the sanctuary again, right? Go ahead and read, brother.
For these be the days of vengeance.
No,
I missed the verse. I'm sorry, verse 21.
He
said, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
Go ahead.
And let not them that are in the countries enter therein too.
Go ahead.
For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days.
Go ahead.
For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
Now, who is this people? That is the Israelites that are there in the land at that time. It's going to be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. Go ahead and read some more.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Look at what the Lord said, and they will fall by the edge of the sword. Now, this is Jesus pronouncing it. You know, you got these New Testament Christians. You know, I don't believe in that Old Testament. I just believe in the New Testament. Well, here you have it in the New Testament, don't you? You know, the Old Testament is just loaded with it. The Lord didn't talk a lot about it in the New Testament, but however, he gave you enough. Now, Jesus was speaking of a time in the future. He said the city would be surrounded, and it would keep them in on every side, and it said, and it will fall by the edge of the sword. Go ahead and read on.
And shall be laid.
Read the whole 24th verse again.
Verse 24.
Go ahead.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Go ahead.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
Wait a minute. They will be what? They will be led away captive. You know what led away captive is? Led away captive don't mean migrate. Edom ain't never been. Where was he led away captive? He said, you will be led away captive into all nations, it said, didn't it? So now how did your people get to this hemisphere? You know how they got here? They were led away captive. You know how Edom got here? He migrated here. He was over there in Europe, and he said, I think I can make more money if I go over to the United States. So I done fleeced them in Europe, and I done got ran out of every country in Europe, didn't he? So now I got to go over here and beat them people over there in the United States out of their money. Because another prophecy regarding me is that I will live off the fat of the land. And he lives off the fat of the land, don't he? That's why every time you get ready for $1, would be led away captive into all nations. Ain't that what Moses pronounced on the people way back in Deuteronomy? So when the curses, it wasn't just for those generations that came along when the 10 tribes separated from the 2 tribes. It wasn't just for them. It was for every generation. Now this is some 500 odd years after Judah had gone into captivity and had gone back to the land. Had did they 70 years in Babylon and had gone back to the land. Some 500 odd years later. What is the Lord saying? Once again, I'm going to destroy the city and I'm going to destroy the sanctuary, and you will be led away captive into all nations this time. Go ahead and read on.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Now, you know when the time of the Gentiles will be fulfilled? At the second coming of the Lord. So this time when you get kicked out, you ain't going to do no 70 years in Babylon. You will do however many years until I make my second coming. So this time, Israel is not going to be in the land until the Lord make his second coming, because that is when the time of the Gentile will be fulfilled. I don't care what them people sitting over there in the land call themselves. They are not Israel, because this had to be fulfilled. So you can make them be whoever you want to make them be. But the Bible says that Israel would be led away captive and another people would occupy the land until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Let's go and read a little bit more history here. Let's go to this time we are reading from Atlas of the Bible. We didn't write none of these books, by the way, in case you think we done fixed up something for you. So everything will fit what we trying to say. We are just dealing with the fact. You know who wrote this book? A Gentile wrote this book. Reader's Digest. Now start reading right there and just flip on over and keep going.
The walls enclosing the temple and the upper and lower cities were the most formidable barriers of all. Postponing all out assault, Titus turned to starvation tactics. A certain amount of food had been smuggled into the city almost nightly during the siege. But now the Romans sealed off Jerusalem completely with a wall of their own made of earth and some 5 miles in circumference.
Wait a minute, where did they get the earth from? What did the book say? Did it say he's going to dig a trench around you and keep you in on every side? Right. You know, that is about as plain as it can get, ain't it? The Lord even went that far. You understand? Gave some little old bitty details. Let you know I am God and everything will happen just like I say it's going to happen. You know, he didn't have to go through all that stuff about they going to dig a trench and keep you in on every side. He could just say we're going to have you in a siege. But he said they're going to dig a trench and keep you in on every side. And then here history comes along many years later and they record that they had a wall of earth around them. You got a wall of earth because you dug a trench. Every time you dig a trench, you get a wall of earth, don't you? Go and dig a ditch. What do you do with it? It packs up there. Go ahead and read.
He said, from the outset of the siege, those attempting to get through the encircling lines had been caught and crucified.
Go ahead.
Sometimes the daily executions reached 500.
Go ahead.
The crosses were never bare.
Crosses were never bare. And you thought crucifixion was something sacred, didn't you? No, you know, that was capital punishment. That is how the Romans did their capital punishment, by crucifixion. You know, when they crucified Jesus, they killed him as some common criminal. You know, it wasn't no, oh, he's holy in reverence and we must crucify him because he's holy in reverence. No, that was capital punishment. They treated him just like the rest. Then they crucified 2 common criminals with him. Yep. Go ahead and read some more.
Inside the city, starvation and disease claimed a mounting toll.
Now, just read what's underlined and read.
Titus now focuses his attention on the Antonia, 26, the great fortress Herod had built next to the temple.
Go ahead.
The rams pounded away until, on July 24th, Roman troops broke through, driving their foes before them in close fighting.
Go ahead.
When the great timbered gates of the temple withstood the rams, they were set afire. Soon the fighting and the fires raged everywhere within the temple complex.
Go ahead.
Before long, the temple, one of the wonders of the Roman world, was nothing more than a smoldering